What's up, people? This is Harry, aka The Brave. Breaking news is coming up. Breaking the news with Harry, aka The Brave. Doing it from a remote location. I'll be right back. My show's coming up at 12. Don't miss it. Breaking the news with Harry, aka The Brave. You know, doing it, just testing remote, doing my show from remote locations. Actually, I'm home, but I am testing. So my show's coming up, 12 p.m. Don't miss it. Gonna be a little different. Not so much music. Well, I have music, but not a lot of music. I have a lot of video clips. We'll go to the video clip in a little bit. So, breaking news, we'll be right back. We got less than 5 minutes, so we'll be back. I can't go live to 12 for the radio station, if anybody was wondering. It's coming.
So, you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
For alignment or inward refinement, trying to find one word to describe men. Better yet, can one consciousness unify them? Pondering on these questions is where my time spent. Creative process, believe me, greatness got to achieve it. Ideas we believe in, positive mind, gotta reach in it. Putting effort to bring forth this new being. You're not consumed by the lust for things, but knows that his worth is determined by words and deeds. Your mind is affected by words and deeds. Your thoughts are keys to what you're trying to see, and what you're trying to see should be to reach your goals. Hold on to your dreams, keys open doors. Since you can't always choose circumstances, make sure to choose your thoughts wisely. Choose advancement, move towards the future. Now's your chance, kid. Accept responsibility, avoid resentment. Actions always take root from what you think about. Things ain't going your way, it ain't hard to figure out. Why? Why? Ask why. Ain't gotta tell you, it's right in front of your eyes. So in following these principles, you'll find along the road you're the only one responsible for your soul. It's no coincidence. Take control of your life, no coincidence. It's no coincidence. You take control, no coincidence. It's no coincidence. Yeah, it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence. Nah, it's no coincidence.
Old shells are highly prized, and this one is occupied by a sarcastic fringe.
There was, according to the Washington Post reporting, a surging number of unaccompanied minors being apprehended at the border. In 2014, there were nearly 70,000, according to the Post reporting. And that same year, there was this viral image of children being kept in a cage at a detention center. Do you see any parallels here? How different is what we're seeing today from these images?
In many ways, and I think I don't know what image you're using, but I released some of those photos because it was kept very quiet under the Obama administration. There were large numbers of people coming in. The Obama administration was trying to keep this quiet, and I don't know which image you're using, but I released some photos that I had gone about those young kids that were kept there, and we're still seeing a numbers. And keep in mind, when they talk about putting some of the young kids in those centers, not all of them are being separated. Some of them are coming alone, as Ed said a few minutes ago. Some of them are coming on their own. So it's not a matter that every single child that we have in those centers are being separated, because some of them are coming alone. Keep in mind that under the law, you can separate a child if that person, the adult, is not the real parent or the custodian, because sometimes we see situations where they'll bring a child because they know of the policy that we have over here with children, or at least what we used to have. Or if there's a criminal offense.
You have to concentrate on saying the people who should be here are those who come legally at this time. And we've got to, for the time being, enforce our borders. The day when America could be the welfare system for Mexico is gone. We simply can't afford it. And I think you've seen the figures to state and local governments of what the cost is. It's over $2 billion.
I think we should enforce our borders. To have a situation where 40% of the babies born on Medicaid in California today are born of illegal immigrants creates a very real problem for the state, which is in deficit.
They have used the power that they have gotten for all the wrong things. They want to keep themselves in power. They want to cater to the special interests. It is time for us as Democrats to be as tough as they are, to be as dedicated as they are, to be as committed as they are. Michelle always says, Michelle Obama, I love her, you know, she and my wife like really tight, which always scares me and Barack. But Michelle always says that, you know, when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, we kick them.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
We know where you live, too, bitch. We know where you live. Yeah. We know where you live, Mitch.
That's my call to action here. Please don't just come here today and then go home. Go to the Hill today. Get up and please get up in the face of some Congress people.
If kids don't eat in peace, you don't eat in peace. If kids don't eat in peace, you don't eat in peace.
You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about. That's why I believe if we are fortunate enough to win back the House and or the Senate, that's when civility can start again.
I need you to go out and talk to your friends and talk to your neighbors. I want you to talk to them whether they're independent or whether they are Republican. I want you to argue with them and get in their face.
We talk to these folks because they potentially had the best answers, so I know whose ass to kick.
With Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, when they're talking about bringing a gun to a knife fight, when they're inciting violence against police officers, today we have police officers called out to fake calls so they can be ambushed and potentially assassinated. And we're talking about protesters, paid protesters, going to disrupt a Republican rally. If it wasn't Donald Trump, it would be any of the other candidates on this panel, and they know it.
Well, I mean, the line from the Untouchables about bringing a gun to a knife fight, I think people recognize that was an allusion to a...
I don't think so. I didn't recognize that.
Okay,
Absolutely
well,
not.
You should check out the film, The Untouchables. But Alex, I want to let you...
All right, here we go. You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. Let me play this music a little bit here. Alright, so what's up, people? What's up? Coming to you remotely from Waterbury, Connecticut. Going into the final weekend before the election. And we see, the chaos, the craziness that's going on out there. This is actually, you can't see it. I got two angles, but there's a little nook that I have in my kitchen for anybody on the radio. I'm talking to my Facebook, Twitter, Periscope audience. So this weekend is a critical weekend for the candidates and their campaigns. They're going to go out there and try to win the final votes because it's getting, well, it's very tight out there, right? And I've been looking at all the polls, and the polls have Democrats up in the generic ballot, but they had the Democrats up in the generic ballot during the 2016 election. That's what makes this election so interesting, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen, even though, like, having Lamont up 3 points. I haven't looked at that poll, the local poll. I've been looking at the national. But he may be tied today or losing. Who knows, right? But yesterday, Stefanowski was on Fox News. And he said his internal polls actually have him ahead. So that's the thing about polls, right? They call you. You don't know who's lying to you, who's telling you the truth. To be honest with you, if I get a call from a poll, which I rarely do, actually this election cycle, I got 2 calls from Republican campaigns and 1 call from a Democrat campaign asking how I'm going to vote. And I didn't tell the truth to either of them because I didn't know what the truth is. I'm actually not gonna decide until the end. I have one person that I know I'm voting for. That's the Waterbury teacher here, Johanna. I forgot her last name. I'm voting for her. She's a Democrat, so going a little bit off. I like her, so I'm voting for her. But I'm more than likely gonna step into the booth and just figure it out right there. I mean, let's face it, I lean conservative, so I'm definitely voting for Stefanowski. But the rest of the people is where I'm up in the air, even though I'm probably gonna lean conservative. So today is gonna be a little different. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna play some video clips, and hopefully they work. YouTube hasn't been very reliable for me in the past. If it doesn't work, we'll go away from it. But I just want to actually give you the other side of the conversation, because in New Haven, in Connecticut, you mostly get the left side of the argument. So you hardly ever see the flip side of the coin. I mean, I give it to you all the time, right? So let's do this. I'm going to play the first clip right now. Let me lower this music. And then we'll go to the clip. You're listening to Breaking News on 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. Let's go. Now this clip is about the Kavanaugh hearings, which is
So I have a question.
a couple of weeks ago, running up into the election.
So hypothetically speaking, let's say Kavanaugh gets proven innocent or whatever, right? No, you can't be proven innocent. I know. I agree with that. I do agree you are innocent until proven guilty, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying, right? Exonerated? Yeah, exonerated. Yes, that's the word. So several statements that Kavanaugh has made, some of his classmates have disagreed with, said he was lying about it. Other statements are being contradicted by.
And anyone who wants to actually see the clip, I'm on Facebook Live. Just go to New Haven Independent, it's Facebook page, and we're on Facebook Live right now. On Twitter, go to WNHHLP.
Well, he likes beer. Guys, Brett Kavanaugh likes beer, all right?
Well, For example,
was it one beer or 2 beers? Oh, now he's perjured himself, right? It was 2 beers he had that night, not 1 beer. This is the most ridiculous thing that we're even talking about this, but go on, I'm sorry.
So, for example, they asked him when he first heard about the Ramirez case. There have been text messages that have come out saying that he and his team looked into refuting those allegations as early as July, which was before the story even broke out.
I think I have read every single second of coverage of the Kavanaugh hearing, and I've never heard that once. So what are you reading?
It's from the New York Times article.
Well, what is the New York Times?
They also ran an article saying that he threw ice at people. I mean,
well,
I struggle.
Here's the one broader point I want to make. I firmly believe he did not sexually assault Dr. Ford.
He didn't. He didn't sexually assault Dr. Ford.
But let's look at the critique of his drinking and all this sort of stuff. I'm sure no one here has ever drank to excess, so we can all excuse ourselves from that. But isn't what has made this country so exceptional and the Judeo-Christian ethic is not who I was, but who I am? How far I have come, where you're able to say, boy, that's not who I am today, but I've come a long way, that I've made a series of decades of good choices, of behaving well and treating women with empowerment. And what I see from the left is a virtue signaling moral superiority complex where they say you have no room for character development whatsoever throughout your life, that who you were when you're 15 years old or 18 years old is somehow the same person you are when
Cut that off real quick. It's a pretty long video clip, but what he was getting to is, look, the Democrats like to judge you on what you did when you were young, right? So they like to disqualify you from serving, as somebody in government, serving in government, because you may have left the door on the top of your car, like Mitt Romney, or they said Mitt Romney was a bully in junior high school or something, so that tells you who he is today. Now I know a bunch of Democrat bullies, right? I know a bunch of Democrat bullies. Right? And they're grown people. And they serve in professional positions. Right? And they have no problem going after you. They have no problem, getting in your face. Like Maxine Waters said, let them know they're no longer welcome here. You know that from Maxine Waters, right? Let your colleagues, her own colleagues, know that they're no longer welcomed here. I don't know what she meant by that. They're no longer welcome in the United States. So it's interesting, right? So you get that side. That was actually Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. They're awesome. They're young conservatives, and they're basically converting a lot of, not converting, I would say waking up a lot of young people, shaking them out of this somber, this craziness that they learn in college, that you are somehow entitled to something. So their message is actually you got to work your way into your future, right? Nobody's going to give it to you, and that future depends on your hard work, no matter what color you are, no matter what race you are, right? So you could go look that up, Turning Point USA. I mean, they're really good speakers, right? So let me play a little music here, and then I'll be right back. You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Cause you found a better one. I don't want you far away. I don't want you far away. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. 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 When I'm up, I still ride for you. Only girl that I want is you. I ain't looking, but I still found you. Show you something others can't do. Got me feeling no way when they say you the same ain't in their head. So don't go away, I ain't gonna let you go away. I'ma keep you right here to myself. I ain't trying to show no one else. We can keep it on the low, but you can still let them others again though. Tell me why you playing with it. I'm just trying to tell you I ain't playing with it. Them others again lying with it. I'ma show you that I ain't the same with it. I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna go nowhere. Tell mother singing to fall away, cause you found a better one. I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna let you fall away. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. 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 She said she got a new thing. The way she got me feeling got me dropping on my blue decks. I'm just trying to do things. Get you over here, I'ma show you what's a few things. She said she wanna run, we can go anywhere that you wanna go. She said she wanna be next to me. Ain't no other place you rather be. Got me feeling up when I'm with you. Wanna feel you up when I'm with you. Feeling like a drive when I'm with you. Wanna where you up when I'm with you. And I ain't gonna lie, the way you got me feeling, I'ma take my time. And I ain't gonna lie, girl, you got me feeling your vibe. I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna go nowhere. Tell mother singing far away, cause you found a better one. I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna let you fall away. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch.
You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, aka The Brave, on WNHHLP 103.5 FM. Alright, let's see what clips I have. This is a good one. I have the story and I have the clip. It's Don Lemon, right? Don Lemon, who feels now, you know, that he's the moral conscience of America. He gets to decide who's dangerous, who's not. But, let's see. Let's get to this.
Extremist that was doing bad things in the name of hate.
Yeah, and then now another one. And you have all of them in a row. And, you know, we messaged about this a little bit this weekend. I keep trying to point out to people not to demonize any one group or any one ethnicity, but we keep thinking that the biggest terror threat is something else. Some people who are marching, you know, towards the border like it's imminent. And when the last time they did this, a couple hundred people came and they, you know, most of them did get into the country. Most of them got tuckered out before they even made it to the border. So we have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right. And we have to start doing something about them. There is no travel ban on them. There is no ban on, they had the Muslim ban. There is no white guy ban. So what do we do about that? So, and first of all, let me just say this.
So you hear that,
Maurice Stollard is the name, and Vicky Jones, and they have been lost in all of this. 2 people who were killed on Wednesday that you talked about.
All right, now he tries to bring it back. But anyway, so
feel that this story has not gotten enough coverage.
what Don Lemon says is he's encouraging people to stop demonizing people. He's like, what I tell people, they shouldn't demonize anyone. Demonize no group of people by the actions of one. This is coming out of his mouth, right? And then in the same breath he says, let's face it, white men are the danger in America today. White men are the terrorist threat in America today. The hypocrisy in that statement. He never says that about all the crime in Ferguson that's just committed by black people, right? He doesn't say it in Chicago, right? Where all you're doing is having black bodies dropping to the ground. But he has the nerve to say that white men are the terrorists in America today. And he doesn't see a problem with the caravan, right? He doesn't see a problem with the caravan. He doesn't see a problem with anything. He doesn't see a problem with the fact that that guy who shot up the synagogue was more aligned with Don Lemon, who was against the embassy moving to Jerusalem, than Donald Trump. And what's incredible is that Democrats don't see that point. They don't get that point. They don't realize that the anti-Israel sentiment that kept gathering steam was the Democrats' opposition to the moving of the embassy to Jerusalem. Right? But, Democrats never want to talk about the truth. The truth is, Democrat after Democrat went out there and said that Israel is the bad guy against the Palestinians, right? Democrat after Democrat. Look, the Black Caucus still supports Farrakhan. Obama hid pictures of him and Farrakhan going into the election in 2008. Right? That's the truth. That they hang out with, they support all of these anti-Semitic people, and nobody says anything about it. You can't say anything to them about it. Right? But that's Don Lemon. Let me get to the story here. But it's incredible how Democrats are oblivious to anything. They don't know what's going on. They don't care to know what's going on. Okay, hold on. I don't know what that was, but so anyway, so
tonight, the Florida Democratic gubernatorial nominee and Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum allegedly accepted tickets to a Broadway show.
I guess we're getting to this story. I don't know where this clip is coming from.
A Tallahassee corruption investigation. Gillum has not been
accused of wrongdoing. The new information turned over to the Florida Commission on Ethics 2 weeks before Election Day.
All right, so that was Andrew Gillum. He's
Connecticut can't afford Ned Lamont's.
He's running for governor of Florida, and Gillum has he's under FBI investigation, and the paperwork actually says that he took a bribe from an FBI agent who bought him Hamilton tickets and funded one of his fundraisers and so on. He used Florida funds to actually Democratic Florida gubernatorial candidate and Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum may have broken the state law by using city funds for a private round-trip flight on a developer's plane to meet campaign donors, contradicting his previous account of the flight. Email earlier this week as part of the State Ethics Probe show. The revelation marks the latest heading for Gillum, coming days after it emerged. He had accepted pricey tickets to the Broadway musical Hamilton from an undercover FBI agent named Mike Miller, posing as a developer in the summer of 2016. Gillum has maintained he got the tickets from his brother, Marcus, and assumed his brother had paid for them. The document releases from connected lawyer Chris Tides, who represents Gillum backer and former campaign treasurer Adam Corey, followed a subpoena by the Florida Commission of Ethics, which along with the FBI has investigated potential corruption at the highest levels of the Tallahassee city government. Gillum has not been formally identified as a target of either probe, and he has not been accused of criminal wrongdoing. Right? They haven't charged him yet. The FBI tries to stay out of, or they back away from charging anyone during an election. That's their policy, actually. Right? But they released paperwork showing that he did receive pricey tickets from an undercover FBI agent, and the Florida Ethics Committee released that he used city funds to do private stuff. So, what's funny about the Gillum race is that whenever his opponent brings up anything he's done wrong, you know, like what is his name? Ron DeSantis, I think it is, that's running against him. Anyway, so he says, you know, how about the FBI investigation? And Gillum will say, hey, I'm black. I know you don't expect a person like me to be able to pay for his own tickets. I'm black, man. You can't say that stuff about me no matter if it's true or not. I'm black. So Gillum has actually been using the race card to get out of answering questions about his nefarious, wrongdoings that he's doing over there in Florida. So it's interesting. You gotta love stuff like that. And the media, what does the media do, right? Imagine if you had if on the other side, Ron DeSantis is the one that was under investigation. The media would be so up his butt that he wouldn't be able to fart, right? But since it's the other guy, it's the Democrat, the media is giving him a pass. It's insane. Totally insane. Alright. I'm gonna play another song. And I'll be right back. You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM. Your home for community radio.
Cold soul, you can blame it on the streets. Hard as concrete, all I see is blood stained white sheets. Say they somebody dying, is bringing heat like the iron, and you ain't gotta have beef. Still clapping, begging for iron. All I hear is sirens. Pray I ain't taking another loss. Life came with a course, and we all pay it. Names engraved, claim the graves that we laying. They gon' tell you they love you, won't tell you when they was hating. And them saying that's gon' fake it until they make it. The rest of us out here gon' get it, cause we gon' take it. Don't tell me what you got, tell me how you got it. That ain't the life you live, so how you figure you bought it. I'ma be real till I die. You say the same and I doubt it. You let the hype gas you up. I'm hot regardless, without it. Never been the type to brag, but I got this in the bag, and I'm trying, boy, to go for it. Now this shit never had. Give my dad a bigger crib, mama better way to live. My sister's the comfortability and not needing these legs. Build me a house up on the mountain and some issue. Make it see through just to walk around but naked in that if I deserve it. All the time I put in, hustling and grinding for ends, can't tell me I don't deserve it. All the time I put in, hustling and grinding for ends, can't tell me I don't deserve it. For every time I fought tears, feeling alone all these years, fighting and facing my fears, can't tell me I don't deserve it. All the time I fought tears, feeling alone all these years, fighting and facing my fears, can't tell me I don't deserve it. For every night I stayed up with a pain in my gut, cold wind in my strut, don't know where I'm going, but I'm I'm going and I ain't looking back. Could only blame myself, thinking only if I could've took it back. I've been stupid, I've been foolish, but I'm growing, show improvement. If I got something to prove, then I'm proving it to myself. Then no matter how hard it get, I'ma play the cards that I dealt. Go hard for what I felt, what I'm feeling like, killing everything in my path. Don't nothing last too long, even the pain stay strong till I'm under the grave and gone. Gotta get right for every time I did wrong. For every night I sat up like the cuff descended all. Got up from A4, standing tall, never gave up. Leave it to them to try to make it seem like they made us, cause they be showing love to disguise the fact that they hate us. Been in the game too long, nerve of them to try to play us. MVP most valid position, I'm comfortable wherever they couldn't fit in. You could have all the riches and be dead broke and need a fixin'. Tell me what's your intentions, why they try to change sneakers? I'm trying to change the conditions, I deserve it. All the time I put in, hustling and grinding for ends, can't tell me I don't deserve it. All the time I put in, hustling and grinding for ends, can't tell me I don't deserve it. For every time I fought tears, feeling alone all these years, fighting and facing my fears, can't tell me I don't deserve it. For all the time I fought tears, feeling alone all these years, fighting and facing my fears, can't tell me I don't deserve it. I deserve it. Can't tell me I don't deserve it. I deserve it. Can't tell me I don't deserve it.
Absolutely breaking the news with Harry, aka The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. What's up, everybody? It's 12:36, Friday afternoon, the Friday before the elections coming Tuesday, and we're having some fun here, right? Going over some clips, letting people know there's another side, and that the Democrats aren't, one of my Democrat friends told me yesterday, he said, the truth is that the Democrats are closer to God than Republicans. And I'm like, what? Wow. That's a pretty interesting statement. He told me it's true. We're closer to God than the Republicans. And I'm like, what does that mean? When you're always attacking Christianity, you're always trying to get God out of schools, God out of everywhere. And he's like, oh, don't try to bring all of that up. I said, whoa, what do you mean you're closer to God? He goes, well, we got to be closer to God because of Trump. I said, are you kidding me? I said, this is the problem with Democrats, right? Because if you were closer to God, you know that he who is without sin cast the first stone. You guys think you're better than everybody. You're elitists. And you think somehow something is owed to you. That didn't make him happy, right? It's incredible when you think about how Democrats think. For some reason, they think they're holier than thou. And the only time they bring up God is to throw him in your face. Right? Because they don't believe in anything. It's funny because yesterday Babz had Lovebabz, Lovetalk on her show. Yesterday she had Planned Parenthood. They had, it's a Planned Parenthood thing. So they're protecting a woman's right to choose and yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. A fetus dies, right? So, what's funny, look, whatever. I say whatever, but it bothers me that people kill babies like that. But whatever, it's a woman's right to choose, right? The law of the land is the law of the land. But what trips me out is after the fact, after the show, I got to do it after the show because that's where you really get the meat, right? So everybody's on their good behavior on the radio. But anyway, and I don't think this is bad what I'm going to say. I don't think it was that private a conversation. But they started talking about saving trees as they were coming out the studio. And I was thinking to myself, wow. the irony, how ironic how they're willing to kill potential life but save a tree. It's interesting. I hope Babz doesn't get upset by that. But it's interesting. It's just insane. The way the left thinks is insane. Right? Alright, let's move on to another. I'm gonna play another video clip. Here goes a CNN reporter talking to one of the people from the synagogue, one of the, I guess, churchgoers from that synagogue, right? And he's looking for him to blame Trump, right? So let me go into breaking news. Absolutely breaking the news with Harry, aka the Brave.
You introduced politics here. Let's get you to weigh in on the conversation that's been happening since this happened yesterday about the president and responsibility. Now, the only person responsible for what happened here is the man who pulled the trigger. Right? That's right. He's the person who's responsible for the deaths. But to what degree do you believe, as some of the president's critics have said, that he's responsible for the environment that would have fed some of what we're seeing, this growth in anti-Semitism, based on some of his rhetoric?
I have to tell you, Victor, I've been following anti-Semitism all of my adult life. I have never heard a stronger statement than the statement the President of the United States made yesterday. He said at his rally in Illinois that if you are going to try to destroy the Jewish people, we're going to destroy you. I've never heard a non-Israeli figure anywhere, not a European leader, not an American president, ever say such a strong statement condemning anti-Semitism. And I think one of the reasons why is that anti-Semitism hits the president close to home. His whole his family, his daughter and his son-in-law, his grandchildren are Jewish, and I think it hits him very hard, and I was very glad to see how forcefully he pushed back against that yesterday, and I know that he's not alone. You have people on both sides of the political aisle. I met with Senator Casey, I met with congressmen who are both Democrats and Republicans from...
So there it is, right? Now CNN has been, what, it's Friday today, the shooting happened Saturday. CNN has still been talking about it all week, but they talk about it in a way that they're accusing the president. Now, it's not like they're the only ones doing it. It's not like they're special in the fact that they feel that way. I work with people who feel that way, that for some reason, Trump is at fault. Now, it's interesting, right? And these are I'll talk about the debates I have daily because it's important for you to see that there are two sides, right? And always when I'm having a debate with a coworker or anybody, it's always them accusing me, right? In an accusatory manner. So when they have questions well, their main question is, how can you follow Trump? Look what happened at the synagogue, right? And I go, wait, are you blaming Trump? Well, he's the one that has this anti-Semitic. And I say to myself, I know these are smart people, but they're blinded by their hate, right? Trump is the only president who moved that embassy to Jerusalem. Right? Presidents have been promising it all along. Obama promised it. George Bush promised it. Bill Clinton promised it. The other Bush promised it. You know what I'm saying? So it's been promised by every president. By the way, they lied, right? They easily lied. They told Israel and America they would do it, and they didn't. This president did it because he loves Israel, right? And in the process of doing it, he was called too pro-Israel by the left, right? And I had this discussion with my co-workers and stuff, and they don't realize it until I'm throwing it in their face, until I'm telling them, what was your position on the embassy? And were you anti-Israel at that point? Were you pro-Palestine at that point? So, once I smack them with the truth, they get upset instead of giving me acceptance and saying, thank you, brother. The truth just set me free. They never give me that. They never thank me. But there you go. There you have it right there. Donald Trump, this guy said he's never heard any president speak like that. Speak actually like an Israeli. You know, speak like an Israeli, that we will go after anybody who tries to get rid of Israel, who's against Israel. So, all the garbage you've been hearing out there, it's garbage. The people who have escalated the anti-Semitism in the last year and a half have been the Democrats, because Trump has been so pro-Israel. Remember, they go against everything Trump does. There you go. Alright. I want to play this clip. It may be a little long. I may cut it short, but it's important. It's Candace Owens growing up. Oh, I forgot the professor's name. You'll recognize me on Facebook Live. You'll recognize his face. Oh my God, what's his name? Anyway, here you go. You're listening to Breaking News on 103.5 FM WNHH-LP, your home for community radio.
Your thoughts? Well, look, we're dealing with a person who has not only radically emboldened the prospects of bigotry in this country, the resurgent, recrudescent hate that he has articulated. If you can't beat him, coin him. So he opposes Pat Buchanan on the one hand when it's to his own political advantage, and then subsequently when the real beliefs emerge from Mr. Trump, we see that his vicious animus toward black people, gay people, Mexicans, Muslims, women, and the like is a kind of cornucopia of hate that has been brashly articulated by a man of manifest lack of serious coherence, chaotic intelligence, and the lack of an ability to really express himself by not only pulling upon the strands of history, but refusing to take into consideration what's going on today. So I think in one sense, if we're going to talk about if we're going to be honest about Donald Trump, he has not helped black people. He has not enabled African-American people to move forward. He's riding a crest and a wave of economic prosperity put in place by his predecessor, Barack Obama. He has refused to acknowledge the centrality of police brutality and unarmed black people being assaulted by people in this country. So the reality is that Donald Trump, while claiming through rhetoric to be for the blacks, what he has done is undermine the capacity of African-American people to exist in a country where it's not only about the economic facts and the wherewithal that we contend with, it is about the tone. It is about the rhetoric. It is about the atmosphere that has been unleashed here. And Donald Trump has done something very dangerous and destructive. He can't see the difference between an anti-fascist and a person who supports it. He can't see the difference between somebody who's against black people and who is for them. So when he draws false equivalencies between both sides, he negates the ability to say, look, I believe in rational civil discourse in America, but I take a side morally and politically. We are now 53 years to the date.
For a quick second.
53 years, let me finish this. 53 years beyond the date of the voting. Let me finish this.
We'll go to the professor, and then we'll go back to you, Candace. Professor Dyson, you can finish, and then we'll go back to Candace.
Here we are, 53 years past the Voting Rights Act. We've seen the resurgence of an attempt to nullify and destroy that black vote. We've seen attempts to somehow circumnavigate around black political citizenry and agency. So all I'm saying is, if we're concerned about black people, we got to be concerned about poverty, inequality, lack of access to education, plus the kinds of sorts of violence that we see directed toward black people in this country.
Candace, go ahead. Sorts of violence as being directed towards black people. Am I black? I'm curious if I'm black, because I'm a black conservative, and I am not hearing anything that is said about the fact that about 25 white Democrats assembled to kick me out of a restaurant yesterday, to throw water and to throw eggs at me because I am a conservative that supports Donald Trump. The very same Donald Trump, okay? The very same Donald Trump that has not Obama. Obama did not do this. It's because President Trump has been slashing regulations, and it has brought this economy to a place it has never been at, okay? We have unemployment that's an all-time low for both women. You brought up women, you brought up gays, you brought up black people. Unemployment is at an all-time low across the board. You guys refuse to acknowledge the truth that we are doing better. You want to talk about fascists? Antifa attacked me. This is an all-white gang that attacked me and attacked an all-black police force in Philadelphia, okay? And they claim to be fighting racism. How is it plausible, Professor, that you allowed this to happen to your community because you decided that because we are ideologically conservatives, you are okay with this? You're okay with the resurgence of the Democrats?
I haven't said a word.
Don't cut me off.
I haven't said a word.
You just said a lot of words.
I didn't say a word.
Actually, if somebody was counting,
I said nothing about you.
Now you're cutting me off.
I said nothing about you.
No.
I'm fine. What happened to you?
I still have to keep it going. Candace, we're going to take a pause.
No, I didn't get to finish. You just went on for 5 minutes straight. You are attacking.
I'm going to let you finish, but if you're calling out the professor, I have to give him time. So Candace, go ahead.
Liberals have been attacking conservatives, and you guys say nothing about it. Blacks were attacked yesterday, okay? And they were attacked because they support Donald Trump. Black support for Donald Trump has doubled since this time last year. You guys can try to pretend that he is pushing in a racist era in this country when in fact we know the Democrats are the racists, have always been the racists. The parties never switched, and you should know this as a civil rights person. You know the history. You know the people under the hood of the KKK.
Let me respond.
Candace,
I'm going to give the party never switched. And
Candace, I'm going to give the professor a chance to respond.
To me yesterday and defend our community being attacked because we support Donald Trump, because we understand that we have better economic opportunities under him than we ever had in Obama.
And
shame on you for fighting in Obama.
Candace, I'm going to give the professor a chance to respond.
Under his administration, he allowed the bloodshed, and Trump wanted to send the National Guard, and the Democrats stopped him. I'm really done with this. I'm done with this
I don't want to have
narrative.
to talk over people, but we have to go back and forth.
Let's talk about the facts.
Candace, we're going to have to take a pause there. Couple things. You're making a personal attack on the other guests, so I have to give them a chance to respond.
Let me respond. First of all,
I also have to say, and Professor, I'm going to go back to you. I also have to say the topic of this discussion that we have tried and perhaps are failing on live.
All right. I can't keep it going, but I gave both of them. I let you hear both sides, right? See how interesting it is, right? How, geez, I can't think of his name, the professor. Anyway, but, first of all, the guy is hilarious. I love listening to him because it's like he's talking out of the thesaurus, so he sounds smarter because he owns a thesaurus. Anyway, so it's fun. So you see, he's portraying every minority, women, gays, blacks, Hispanics as victims. And Candace is there pointing out that all of those groups are doing much better, twice as good under Trump, right? And the lunacy, you know, you have to be an idiot to believe that the reason Trump's economy is doing so well is because of Obama, when he's reversed everything Obama has done in the economic realm, right? So you have him slashing all of those regulations, which is the reason business has grown, right? Which is the reason there's more jobs, which is the reason median income has raised 3%. That wasn't Obama. Obama stunted the economy by actually adding all those regulations, causing business to go overseas. But they count on you being ignorant. They count on it. They count on you not knowing anything about economics. I almost created a word like him. I almost made my own thesaurus. Anyway, so my time's almost up. Let me try to get to a quick clip so I can play us out. Okay, let's play. Here you go. Let's play. Let's play Trump's latest. His latest ad, right, for these upcoming midterm elections. Let's play it. I hope you enjoy it.
Is not going to be the nominee, Chuck. I mean, as you know, I'm ahead in Ohio.
So, Jenny, could he actually win?
No. Anybody but Donald Trump.
That's illegal immigrant Luis Bracamontes, charged with murdering 2 police officers.
I wish I could kill more of those motherfuckers.
It's pure evil. President Trump is right. Build the wall. Deport criminals. Stop illegal immigration now. Democrats who stand in our way will be complicit in every murder committed by illegal immigrants. President Trump will fix our border and keep our families safe.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please step out of the hallway. They're fucking dead. Break up soon, and I'll kill more. The only thing that I can regret is if I can just kill 2. I wish I could kill more of those motherfuckers. I'll kill more cops soon.
I gotta stop it there. I didn't know they left the curses in there, so. But you get it, right? So that was the illegal immigrant that shot 2 cops. Was in court, and he tells the judge, I'm happy I killed the cops. I'm going to break out soon, and I'm going to kill more of those mother effers, right? And that guy had been deported twice, came back in, and that's exactly what Trump is trying to show you. Now, the media is losing its mind, right? They're losing their mind because they're saying that this is racist. This is Willie Horton all over again. And if you don't understand the Willie Horton reference, you got to go back and look it up yourself. But they're saying it's racist because he's trying to tag every immigrant as this criminal, right? This monster. But that's not the point. If 10%, if 5%, if 1% of the illegal population comes in and kills Americans, that's 1% too much. We shouldn't lose American lives because we're not actually sealing the border. Because we're not even, the Democrats don't even want us to follow the immigration laws. They want to get rid of ICE. They want open borders, which will lead to more dead Americans, right? All right, I got to get out of here, but I'm going to play a video on my way out. And this is just to remind you, because it's important that you remember, right? I want Democrats to prepare themselves for a loss on Tuesday. I'm not saying you're going to lose. The House of Representatives, I doubt you're going to win the Senate, but I'm just telling you, prepare yourself, because you haven't been handling Trump's win very well, and it's almost 2 years. Alright, you've been listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Anybody but Donald Trump. Anyone.
Oh, wow. For the Trump presidency, brace for impact. New York Times now saying the chance of a Trump presidency is 92%.
This is the time for real wisdom. Lightning round.
If Trump wins, how about bursting into tears and screaming fuck for the next 45 minutes?
Well, America is crying tonight. I'm not sure how much of America, but a very, very significant portion. And I mean literally crying.
Everybody is crying and so upset. And it is the end of their world.
Feels like the end of the world.
We were on Lifetime last night. And I was slowly getting drunk is what happened to me.
How do we explain how this is possible?
How did this happen? Experienced politician versus racist fake gynecologist.
Get your abortions now, because we're going to be fucked, and we're going to have to live with it.
You're awake. He's not going to be the nominee, Chuck. I mean, as you know, I'm ahead in Ohio.
So, Jenny, could he actually win?
No freaking way! Oh
He will be tempted to run, be predictably shellacked.
Do not tell me that Donald Trump is in this to win this, okay? He's a sideshow.
This is going to turn a three-ring circus into a freak show.
He's not running for president. He's running for Keep Me Famous.
I thought this was maybe some strategy for a new reality show.
How should Republicans handle Donald Trump?
Ignore him.
And Donald Trump is not going to be the nominee of this party.
Well, I don't think it's likely that Donald Trump will be the nominee.
Well, I do, based on your theme, believe that he's here to stay for a while, maybe through a few primaries, but he is not going to be the nominee.
Well, I'm going to support the Republican nominee, and I'm comfortable that it's not going to be Donald Trump.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
Donald Trump will not become president!
He's not going to be president. Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank. Okay. I guarantee it. All right.
I think if he becomes the president, he'll make it great because the states is already great.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red capes.
On that note, Tom, pleasure.
Take it from me. How about that?
Cheers, Tom.
And then, of course, there's Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump, just last week, he confirmed to the National Review that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
So when you stand and deliver that State of the Union address, in no part of your mind or brain can you imagine Donald Trump standing up one day and delivering a State of the Union address?
Well, I can imagine it in a Saturday night skit. I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
He will never be president of the United States.
And we better be ready for the fact that he might be leading the Republican ticket next.
I know you don't believe that, but I want to go on.
Sorry to laugh.
Okay, here we are. And which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump.
And so, right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say, you're not going to be president, all right? But come on, buddy. All, let's say, cow poo-poo aside, there is zero chance we'll be seeing you being sworn in on the Capitol steps with your hand on a giant golden Bible.
I'll make a prediction, though, for you. And I don't really get into predictions much, but this one I'll go way out on a limb. Donald Trump will never, ever be president of the United States. That Trump should not be in this race. He's an absurdity. He is a travesty.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
Donald Trump is a here today, gone tomorrow candidate for president of the United States. Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Ever respectful of the fact that the people have not voted, he's not going to be president of the United States.
Let's be clear. Donald Trump will lose the election.
I mean, he had a really good chance to be different and really have a chance to change things, but he doesn't do the work.
This is the problem. And this is what I'm saying. You guys need to prepare. Because you were not ready. You were not ready for the loss the last time. Listen to this.
Tomorrow morning, the money will dry up. The Republicans will start to hide. Trump has no place to go. This race, effectively, as of tonight, is no longer a presidential race. Everything I know about presidential politics, and I've been through 5 of them, I've never seen one like this. This race is over. You might as well accept it. And the question now is, how do you minimize damage?
You hear this? You guys were not ready. You were totally not ready for this. And I hope that you're ready for it now. Because even though history is on your side, that's another thing. if you do win, oh, I like this part. Let's listen.
At real Donald Trump. At least I will go down as a president.
Our new NBC News Survey Monkey poll is out today. It puts Hillary Clinton up by 10 points.
Anyway, so you guys have to prepare. So history is on your side. Obama lost the House in 2010. He lost it big, right? There was like an earthquake, and he even said he got shellacked. Right? So if there is no blue wave but you win the House, I want you guys to calm down. Remember that Obama lost it too. So did, the only one who didn't lose it in his first 2 years was George Bush. George W. Bush, because of 9/11, right? So the country was so together at that point that they allowed him to keep the House. But Bill Clinton lost it, and I think Reagan lost it. So, you know, history is on your side. You should win this. If you don't win, at least the House of Representatives, I want you to be prepared. Don't lose your mind. I mean, you could go and do the primal scream on the green just because I enjoyed that so much and I used it in memes and stuff. But prepare yourselves, people.
It'll be interesting tomorrow night, I think, when Hillary Clinton wins.
Listen to this lunacy, this delusion.
Will have lost this election from the very first day he announced.
If the numbers bear out what we're seeing thus far, Hillary Clinton will win Florida. And the delicious irony in this is that Donald Trump will have been kept from the White House by a big, beautiful brown wall.
And CNN projects Donald Trump will carry the state of Florida, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee.
By the way, that brown wall that she was talking about stopping Trump actually came out for Trump in Florida. Keep that in mind.
With its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, he has now taken the lead. Donald Trump has 128 electoral votes. Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio. He has 167 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 109. Idaho, North Carolina, Georgia, Iowa, Utah, Wisconsin, Arizona.
But we should really just take a moment here and look at this. Pollsters predicted that Hillary Clinton was going to have not just a victory, but that she was going to win an electoral landslide. Not only is that not happening, it is entirely possible that Donald Trump is truly redrawing the map the way that resolute of heart. It was Donald Trump versus make firm thy mind. And as of right now,
the tongue of a man is the rudder of the boat, but the Lord of all is its pilot. Cast not thy heart after riches. There's no ignoring fate and destiny. Place not thy thoughts on things outside. Every man is destined for his power.
I'm feeling goods where all of your cash went. Not chakra alignment or inward refinement. Trying to find one word to describe men. Better yet, can one consciousness unify them? Pondering on these questions is where my time spent. Creative process, believe me, greatness got to achieve it. Ideas we believe in, positive mind, gotta reach in it. Putting effort to bring forth this new being. You're not consumed by the lust for things, but knows that his work is determined by words and deeds. Your mind is affected by words and deeds. Your thoughts are keys to what you're trying to see, and what you're trying to see should be to reach your goals. Hold on to your dreams, keys open doors. Since you can't always choose circumstances, make sure to choose your thoughts wisely. Choose advancement, work towards the future. Now's your chance, kid. Accept responsibility, avoid resentment. Actions always take us.
I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.